Evening.
Good evening.
I'm Adam Carson from Lockheed Martin. So thank you all for giving us the opportunity to present our abatement. I think y'all got it a couple of weeks ago, had a chance to look over it, requesting the abatement on sales and use of property tax on a capital project, about $64.8 million. Sales and use, about 35 jobs, long-term on the back end once that factory is up and running. Y'all have any questions that I could help answer or highlight anything about this project?
Anybody got a direct question, Brian?
When this project will start?
Well, it's contingent on the contract award. We're expecting that maybe late spring, early summer. And so as soon as we get that, we've already done some pre-work and we're leaning forward on a little bit of work right now. And so it should start up about then.
Roughly 35 jobs.
Yes, and that's, our work is very CapEx heavy on the front end and grows on the back end. So that's, I think, on the, the low end. Once we get construction going and the factory running, I think that'll only continue to grow over time.
What is the time frame that you expect for it to take for the completion of the demolition?
I believe, let's see, we got it in 2028. That will be us starting construction later on this year. And we do leave a little bit of margin on there. We've had some issues in the past with weather delays where we've had to come back and get extensions. So we do put a little bit of buffer on the back end just so we don't have to go through the process of asking for extensions on these abatements, because we get into these large projects, we find things that we have to change, do change orders and weather delays, and it causes headaches for us and the revenue department and taxing your team, asking them to run paperwork down again. So, but we do think it'll be around the 2028 time frame when it completes.
Any other?
I was just gonna say, we appreciate what you do in this county, and thank you for the continued effort to work hard.
Well, thank you. We appreciate the support we get from all of y'all.
So what we started this time, it was just, yours was the first abatement that came in after we kind of changed our policy. So one of the things we're asking every abatement is that we get economic. I know the process is perfect. You sent it in the way you're supposed to. And so what we're doing is we're asking economic development to do abatement research for us, because it's kind of tough for our staff to do it and then give us a report.
Sure.
And that's why Chase, we got Chase to get here and do it. And I probably need to hone my timing in so that the commission has what Chase brings us the meeting before you
Right.
present. So what we wanted to do tonight is get Chase to come up with you, and there may be some questions that are derived from it. And then Commissioner Johnson wasn't able to make it here tonight either. And then allow the commission a cycle to digest what you brought to us and what Chase has brought to us, and then vote on it next meeting.
Okay.
So that's kind of the time frame we want to work in. And I wanted to bring all that, to say all that before, just to give you an opportunity. Does that mess up any of your time in a 2 week?
No, we're, like I said, the bulk of this is going to be on the back end. We're leaning forward on a little bit of the work on the front end to try to get ready. It's an expansion to an existing building. So, but most of that work's going to be pushed out a little bit later. So it's not going to impact us.
Okay, well, good deal. Because I feel like no questions and no calls will be good news. But hopefully we'll have time to digest everything.
Sure.
And then work out everything. And Chase, and I don't know, Adam, you may want to stay up. I don't know, Chase. I'm sure Chase has got like 30 minutes on speech.
22 minutes, Mr. Chairman. Like you said, this is a new process for both of us, our organization and the county commission. The era of abatements for abatements really should have been over a long time ago. However, in our research of really this abatement and then all of the history of past abatements, reached out to the Department of Commerce, who handles all of the quarterly reports for our industrial projects with any state incentives tied to them, which almost always flow from a local sales and use tax or property tax abatement. From the year 2000 to the year 2020, Lockheed Martin has invested somewhere in the near range of $517 million into the facilities out there, created 660 jobs. Everybody knows somebody that lives in our community that works at Lockheed. My best friend works out there, and he has a fantastic career. You look at the job creation here, and yeah, we're looking at $1.75 million in annual payroll of creation. Well, that's just an average, they continue to grow in wages. So we'll put together a more sophisticated report rather than me just come up and talk to you. I think what I like to do, Mr. Chairman, is we work kind of on the template moving forward. But it's very hard not to, at a 10,000-foot view, say, look, they have a proven track record. They're clearly a pillar of our community. They employ homegrown boys and girls out of Pike County and set them on a career path that really is limitless in a lot of ways. And it sure is nice to have them stay in our county. And really, as an economic development organization, we want to put our existing industries in the best possible position to succeed and bring in any new program that's going to, or grow an existing program that's going to provide long-term success. So sometimes 2028 sounds like a long time, but Lord knows how time flies.
Yeah, and that's why I want to bring it up personally and in public to Adam. This is nothing necessarily about this abatement, right? It's the first one. And Chase, you talked about putting the template together. The economic impact of the company that's asking needs to be larger than that, obviously. But there's one thing that I know has been brought up, not necessarily on this one, but on others. Typically, this is tied with the state, we're tied with commerce, and the state is measuring the 35 jobs or however that is, laid out, or it's in their contract where they're monitoring that. On an abatement like this, how would we monitor that? And I'm assuming that would be either through your organization or something we would have to work out.
You could certainly be that conduit to report. We're not party to a state Department of Commerce project agreement unless there's local incentives tied into that specific agreement. However, I think that I can't speak for Lockheed Martin, never would, but I'm sure we could come up with some kind of structure to monitor that.
And it may be something that, again, because part of the economic, again, this was kind of a tough one to talk about, of all things you led with, because their economic impact is so great to begin with. But talking generally about these agreements and how we go forward, that's one thing I want to see is the economic impact it's going to have, which is the job creation, not just the investment. Then we know we want to see the unabated taxes, because that's our educational taxes are unabated, right? And we know that.
Right.
So those increase as the value of the property increase. And so there's a lot of factors that goes into when we get stopped on the street and say, hey, I heard you did this again. Well, I did it for this amount, but here's the amount that's going back in the community.
The specific tangible items. I think once we identify that, if it's, monitoring job creation, especially tied to project agreements, is always important, because if Adam or Lockheed or if any of our industries aren't meeting that job creation threshold, our organization is going to do everything we can to try to find people to get in there and quality workforce. And that's a real big focus of ours, not to deviate, but 2024 is just going to be the year of workforce development. We have to have trained, capable people. So I think creating that structure, and then also, the tangibles on the unavailable taxes. Okay, what are we returning to the county school system in this instance because of that? I think identifying, even 4 or 5 or whatever that number is, that really won't be that hard to create a structure that we can have uniformity and consistency in.
And we can, I know we probably will have to help through the revenue office with some of that too.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
Yeah, ever since I've been on the board, we've been debating. I'm looking at this, we have several companies start to building, add on. I'm concerned about is the 600 employees, well, we get, go spend part of that revenue back to the county, if it's sales tax or whatever. You know, kind of offsets the $1 billion we go cut back to, so get me wrong, I'm not trying to kick against the abatement, but I'm looking for something ahead for, we can get, we didn't near abatement, we can get people to spend more dollars in Pike County. That's what I'm looking at. I know that's not in your hand, but, it's just something we can think about. I know a lot of manufacturing companies, come in here and ask for abatements. But we've been giving y'all the abatements for years.
But here's the thing,
I know.
we want to support local business and local industry, and this is the way we do that.
Well,
It continues to grow our communities with quality of life jobs, is the way I see it.
And I'd like to add, I think some of the intangibles that don't get seen even in just an employment number. You know, our site is supported out of Dallas and Orlando. When we add programs, when we expand, we have a lot of people that come in, management, engineering, to come in and travel, fill up hotel rooms, eat in restaurants. Y'all know our police and sheriff. The more we grow, the more we have to have their presence on site. And I know one of the guys I ran into one time at the rec said that's the easiest money he's ever made. You know, there's a lot of things like that that don't get caught up in just, you know, how many people we employ at the door, but also the impacts and the suppliers we have in the community as well, and the people that they employ, because they're growing, because we're buying more from them. So to your point, you know, those are just some things you can share with constituents about the impact it does have locally.
well, and part of the way we measure that is the economic impact study.
Right, yeah.
And that's the easy way for us to go back and say, look, we've got a group in Pike County that we use to do this very thing. Here's the economic impact study that they've done, which is going to be substantial for all the reasons that you've named, and then the payroll. And then we have the answers to these questions. And that's kind of what we're asking Chase, is just to and we can talk more, you know, to get the template together, but just really an economic impact study. But being that they're such a large employer and a large footprint in our community today, have a little bit of that on the front end too, to say, hey, this one may break even, but here's all the other things that are going on in the community through them.
Yeah, and absolutely, Mr. Chairman. And Commissioner, your point, it's something I think about constantly. It's, okay, are we creating a pipeline for, let's just talk about students and children in our community. You know, Lockheed's done a really good job of working with AIDT, and in the past has had multiple internship programs, and unfortunately, Adam and I haven't had a chance to talk to this, but as an organization and the commission as local stakeholders, are we creating programs or what programs do we need to look at so we can put those individuals, those students in the pipeline? If that's the career they want to go with, well, my goodness, we need to do everything we can to try to maximize their involvement as early as possible, whether there is the county school system or the city school system, to put them in a position to succeed. Because there are countless success stories on you know, kids I grew up with and your kids grew up with that have experienced that. We need to make sure we're giving them the best possible tools in their tool belt. So that's certainly a priority that we have this year. And not just Lockheed, really with all of our industries.
But you know, we do have, I think all of the industry would appreciate that, but you know, we do have the program that we go into, Charles Henderson and the Pike Technology Center, where we send our own employees to teach in the classroom, and students who successfully completed, we do offer them a job. There's no requirement that they take a job. If they take a class, they can take those skills and go to any other employer and tout the things that they've done that put their hands on tools other students haven't done in other places. But that is something we've been proactive in trying to do, to keep kids in our community and give them not just jobs, give them a career.
So is that with both school systems or just
Yes, ma'am.
Charles Henderson?
Charles Henderson, we do it with the county as well.
The technology center.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
I know that you all have, companies that you contract with,
Yes, ma'am.
and, not to call out any particular ones, but we happen to know. And I know that sometimes the employers don't reap the same benefits as those from Lockheed Martin, although you do have contract companies that work for you, and people work there, but people think they work for Lockheed, but they do not. They work for that contract company. And so how much power do you all have in going and making sure that although those people may not work directly for Lockheed, but making sure that they're also being able to have a decent salary, just like those who work directly for Lockheed Martin?
Well, we have our procurement system. You can imagine being a government contractor, we have quite a few rules that we have to comply with.
Correct.
We can't tell anyone what to pay
Right.
people, but we do have certain standards that our procurement arm of our company handles and reviews and contracts with. Now, I don't deal with that. We don't do that locally. But we do, I will say that we hire people from a lot of our contractors.
Okay.
Because our wages are more attractive for them and our benefits, and so we do have quite a few people come from some of our, I don't want to name the ones, but we do have quite a few that
Right.
they have clearances and they come, they see there's opportunity to improve, and we give them an opportunity to do that.
Okay.
Adam, thank you. Again, we appreciate what Lockheed does in our community, obviously, a huge employee. And so probably, Chase may have a few more questions, some commissioners may have a few more questions. We'll filter those through McKinsey if we do. And then we'll communicate back with you. I don't think, unless you want to, I'll tell you what, we'll communicate with you before the next meeting.
Okay.
If there's more questions or any need to come back,
Sure.
we'll communicate. Thank you again, thank you, Chase.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jason.
All right. Kyle?
As far as new business goes, we don't have any new business. On current business, that key updates, if y'all want to go over those.
Sure.
I'm not 100% sure on the planning jurisdiction changes. That's not something I've been handling personally. As far as personnel, we don't have any personnel updates right now. And as far as County Road 2254, which is the Pike County Lake Spur, we ran into two issues. We're trying to add this to our current County Road 6618 resurfacing. Derek's been in touch with the lawyer to try to figure out if it's legal for us to be able to do this. I think there was two issues. One was related to, I don't think we can add an extra part to a current project if the addition is over $100,000. And the second issue with this one is, since it's in a different location, it changes the scope of work of the project, which is also another issue that is not legal, we don't think. I'm not 100% sure what the final decision was made between Derek and the lawyer, but I do know that he has decided that we need to add it to this coming up summer's resurfacing projects, which will be the fiscal year 2024 projects.
It was still, I talked to Derek the other day, it will still come up in the early part of 2024, this year, so we just need to keep it on there and forward it.
And then as far as the equipment surplus request, if y'all have the list, we can go over it, or if y'all just want to push it to the next meeting, Derek said we can push it to the next meeting too.
I think it's ready, it was on here last time.
See if I got any questions pertaining to the surplus list?
Yeah, that's good.
And that is it for us.
Any questions for Kyle? So, remind me, Derek told me that we, due to weather, we had to postpone 6618, and I was in my truck, didn't make a note. Do you remember when that, he said something in February, I think?
I've been in touch with the project superintendent, and he has been the same one we had last summer. You can't trust what he says. So right now, it was scheduled to start 2 weeks ago. Now it's scheduled to start next Monday.
You remember in the public meeting?
I'm gonna talk a little bit here. It's scheduled to start Monday.
Monday?
Scheduled to start Monday.
Okay.
So that could change.
Best case money.
That's it.
Anything else without? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
EMA,
I have nothing to report. Probably,
any questions for EMA? So, Mr. Herb, I questioned you pretty hard during the winter weather, but your wisdom turned out to be better than my questioning, because I aggravated Mackenzie about, I hadn't seen anything, Mr. Herb, what are we doing, where are we at, and,
Well, the only thing I say, most of the school, if the schools did close, they told me earlier that they were not going to close, and then at 9 o'clock, they sent out a telephone message that they are going to close, so it's hard to get information out when you don't do the time in there, so.
well, and not necessarily about that, just kind of helping us decide what and how we needed to do. I actually spoke to Dr. Zella Link today, and we talked a little bit about the trials and trying to figure out what's right.
And he's in a different situation in city school, with buses on the road and stuff like that, so, we have to take that into consideration sometimes.
So we'll soon, no news on hazard mitigation? Okay. Mr. Allen?
No report.
Yes, sir. Any commissioner got a report?
I was contacted by the Troy University Foundation. They have asked for $1,000 donation. And I would like for us to do that if we can. And I'll make a motion and ask that we suspend the rules on that.
So you want to try to do that tonight?
Yes, please.
We got two.
Yes.
Okay, any other, anything else, Mr. Barry?
No.
Okay. Administrator?
I'm gonna keep mine pretty short tonight too. I wanted to remind y'all, we've got the ACCA district meeting in New Brockton, and it's on January the 25th and 24th, not 23 like it says on your paper. I believe Brayton sent us all a text reminding us with the address.
And that is Thursday,
Yes.
right? Mackenzie, that's Monday, or Commissioner Wright? You asked me earlier.
It's Thursday.
Oh, Thursday.
It is Thursday, yes. I don't think I said that, yes, this Thursday. I just put the wrong year on here. It's hard to get used to writing a new year. But it's at 6 o'clock, but I was just reminding y'all, and I do have a paper with the address on there in case you don't still have access, but that Brayton sent us this afternoon actually has it on there, so it's really easy to click and get you directions to where we're supposed to go. Under current business, I don't have anything for tonight. I don't have any updates on anything for tonight.
Questions? Did you ever find out anything on cybersecurity?
No, I emailed, and I've not gotten a response from ACCA.
Yeah, make a note, let's talk to them Thursday night. We'll
Okay.
catch one of them.
Yeah, I had already thought about it, because it actually went to Meg Fielder, but she's not with ACCA, but I got a response saying that if we go to Sunny Grass School, that I got a response from you, so I thought maybe we could catch somebody up there Thursday night and see what's going on with it.
We didn't hear any more from TCU on the demolition.
No, we're still waiting on that report. They have to go, I think they're testing, from lead to asbestos to everything else for tearing down the jail, just to cover us, that it'll be a complete demolition of the
Okay.
jail.
All right, thank
So,
you.
that's all.
All right, anything else for the work session? All right, we'll close the work session, we'll reconvene at 6 o'clock.
Thank you.